Welcome back to another edition of the Stack Supplement podcast. We run down all of the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And today will actually be a little bit longer. As you may remember, I did indeed probably just push for time to get that one done right before Christmas. But hey, we're here, we're back in the new year. And this will be a little bit of a catch up. We'll probably go into a bit before the New Year, so New Year's Eve, and then as well as a bit of Christmas week. But it was a busy time, especially recently. Definitely today really, it's been pretty intense in how many innovations have kind of been announced. And I mentioned this today, in fact, to someone, just the amount of new products that just came through our inbox on our desk and to be announced basically immediately was just kind of overrun. But you know, we try to stick to not do as few as possible, but we try to stick to a certain amount per day just so people don't get overrun or a bit lost in the fray. But we're going to kick things off with we're going to go back as far as the Bear Bells protein powder. And I don't know if I think we might have touched this on the last episode. It was a while back. So Bear Bells has made a protein powder. Not just that, they made a few. They did a whey protein, a casein, a clear, and a vegan or a plant-based protein powder. Very traditional, very typical, I guess you could call them. Nothing too outside of their names. The whey protein is whey-based, the casein, clear, vegan, so on and so on. And they have fairly typical macros, and their flavors, I guess it comes down to what they're going to taste like. Knowing Bear Bells, they're probably going to taste pretty damn good, but we haven't really kind of put it out there. Haven't actually tried them myself, so we don't know how good they are, but I imagine they are coming from the protein bar king that they do. And we actually got a bit more information as to where you can go to get them. This is interesting because they are exclusive, and we managed to dig up that they're exclusive to Germany and Austria. Now, Germany ships over to Austria, so it's not exactly like I think there's a presence in both. It just sort of seems like a nearby situation, but nowhere else. Not Sweden, not America, Canada, the UK, Australia, Asia, other major markets where Bear Bells is present. That is the only place. And it's interesting because usually you get that with flavors. You'll get flavors that are in Sweden, sometimes the UK, but to get an entire product specifically for Germany, not even just an entire product, the first ever supplement we've seen from Bear Bells, it's a pretty big thing. So if you want to try and get your hands on it, that's the route to go through. I believe we might be able to track them down. I'm still trying to get my hands on the chewy protein bar, as I firmly believe Bear Bells is going to turn that into a product in its permanent lineup. We'll just have to wait and see, but if it happens, you heard it here first, and this is a guess. I don't actually know. There's no one I know inside that's told me this either. So yeah, you can check the details out on the protein powders on the website. Just search up Bear Bells protein powder. And next up, we're going to shoot over to Celsius, and this is more recent. This is not necessarily from the last couple of weeks, more a couple of days. There are two new flavors out for the Celsius energy drink, and they're both a part of the Vibe series. Vibe series, actually, I'm not entirely, I thought it started in Sweden, and I could probably try and figure this out exactly, but the first Vibe name flavor, I remember vaguely being in Sweden. If you're not familiar, Celsius in the US as well as the rest of the world. Generally, US has all the flavors and then they kind of spread out throughout the world. I think there's Sunset Vibe is the one that's not available in the US, but is elsewhere in a few other places. But then Sweden tends to kind of march to the beat of its own drum. They don't really, the formula is similar, but in its own little way. And they have always put out their own kind of flavor system. It's almost, and I don't know the story behind it, I've never actually dug into it, but it almost feels like they're sort of given free reign to do what they want in Sweden, the group there or whoever's there who's in charge of that, and then everyone else kind of has to follow what is coming out of the US. And it's been like that for a while. And so yeah, the Vibe family has grown drastically. We went through the whole galaxy phase of, I say space phase, but it was Galaxy Vibe, Cosmic Vibe, it's Astro Vibe. There's been a whole bunch of Vibe flavors, and it's quite a fun little thing to see them continue this series and have that Vibe name attached. But now we've got two more, and they're here to start the new year. There is Retro Vibe, which is a sherbet slush. So it sounds like a kind of a over-the-top sweet candy type thing. And then you've got Player Vibe, I might add, is Playa, so not player. And it is a pina colada, so it's a pineapple coconut mix. Both available for the signature Celsius energy drink, featuring all of those traditional ingredients, metabolism, energy. and whatnot. And then you've also got no sugar, low calories, and that nice 12-ounce size, 200 milligrams of caffeine apiece. And they're out now. Now the Retro Vibe, I believe I saw it at Target, not with my own eyes, but that's where we kind of got the information from. And Player Vibe is a little more interesting. It's shown up at a couple of distributors and sports nutrition retailers. So for some very obscure places, like supplements, not GNC vitamin shop type stuff, like your independent, your mom and pops, your smaller guys. So I'm curious what the catch is there, and I don't know if any of them are exclusive. Like I said, Retro was showing up at Target, and Player has kind of shown up. I think distributors, supplement distributors, have got it. So it'd be interesting to know the story. They might just be a timing thing, and these guys got a hold of it first. Now it's out there. Who knows? But yeah, full details on the website. Nice way to start the new year, obviously, if you're a fan of the giant that is Celsius. Next up, we're going to jump to another major brand, in Optimum Nutrition. And now it is not often, and I say this all the time, it's not often you see something completely new from Optimum Nutrition. And this isn't kind of completely new, but it is an interesting one nonetheless. Optimum Nutrition is kind of a legend in the space. In fact, if you're watching this, you know supplements, you know sports nutrition, you know that that's exactly the case. Known for gold standard protein powder, AmiNO Energy. They even were kind of pretty big with the Serious Mass. You've also got the case. They got a host of Optimum's another big one. I'm just trying to rattle them off my head. They're pretty much known for a lot of core products that you would just never not use, right? Like gold standard, if you're a fan of that, you're probably never going to change to another one. But either way, they do occasionally come out with some completely new supplements. Not often, nothing like your Apollon or Ghost or kind of that kind of pace. But they do come out with supplements every now and then. And we've got one kind of to start the new year, but I believe it seems to have been out for a little bit. It's actually not completely new. It's a spin-off. It's called AmiNO Energy Focus, or I guess if you want the complete name, it is AmiNO Energy Hydration. Now the interesting thing about this, so if you might know AmiNO Energy just from AmiNO Energy, there are a few variations out there. There's AmiNO Energy Standard, AmiNO Energy Hydration, there's an AmiNO Energy Collagen, I believe it is. There's obviously the AmiNO Energy Drink. Now, AmiNO Energy Hydration adds in some electrolytes. Now, this one, AmiNO Energy Focus, is a combination of that, AmiNO Energy Hydration. So it has all those same ingredients, the electrolytes, that 5-gram amino blend, caffeine still in there. And then it throws in, I believe is it theanine? I think it's theanine and Cognatic or Cognatique, I think I've been told is how you pronounce it. Cognatique, the focus ingredient, originally known as Neurofactor, found in the Ghost Energy drink. They put that in there, hence the name AmiNO Energy Focus. It's at a full dose of 100 milligrams a serving, and it just basically gives you all the benefits of AmiNO Energy, the hydration, whatnot of the benefits of AmiNO Energy Hydration, and now we've got some focus in the mix, which is nice, and it's like a complementing effect to go with the caffeine and the aminos. And AmiNO Energy is somewhat of a light pre-workout, I guess, or a multi-benefit thing. You could take a cardio, morning, pick me up, whatever, and now you got a way to add focus to it. And the interesting thing is this supplement, this version, AmiNO Energy Focus, is only available at Costco. That is where it has launched. I believe it's referred to as an exclusive. It is in the one tiki twist flavor, which I thought was interesting. It's not a standard one, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's an exclusive for now, and then we get like I guess an orange mango fruit punch type thing elsewhere. But because it's at Costco, obviously the price is ridiculous. It is insanely good. So currently is a tub of the regular AmiNO Energy at OptimumNutrition.com is $29.99. A tub of the AmiNO Energy Focus is also $29.99 at Costco. However, you get 72 servings in this son of a bitch. It is huge. And again, so I mean, you get all the benefits of AmiNO Energy, plus the electrolytes, plus the focus, plus almost 2.5 times as many servings. You kind of have no reason. This is the better deal. No matter what you're interested in. Like I said, it has everything that AmiNO Energy does. It has everything that AmiNO Energy plus hydration does. Now, there might be some discrepancies, I would think, in the order of the aminos and maybe the electrolytes. I don't know, I haven't actually checked it thoroughly, but you do get 5 grams of aminos, a hydration blend with electrolytes. So I would think that it's relatively the same. And then you get the cognitique, all for $30 at 72 servings, which makes it a damn good buy at Costco right now. So if you have a membership, check, and you regularly shop there like a lot of people, give it a grab. It seems like a nice little nootropic just to have by your side. $30 for 72 servings is it's an efficient price, to say the least. So you can read more about that as per usual on the website. We're now going to dive into Serious Nutrition Solutions, one of my favorite brands, one of the ones that I regularly stack myself, whether the goal is performance, strength, weight loss, whatever. I have a few brands that I just internally cycle through. Infinus has now become one. PES is a classic of mine. And so is SNS. They kind of just give you everything you need for very specific benefits. Very similar to Core. Core is another one that I like to stack a lot, where you can pay more to go deeper, right? If you have a brand that sells you a fat burner and it's $30, okay, that's great. But let's just say you wanted to spend $60. That brand might not have all of that variety. Someone like SNS has that ability to be like, hey, look, we've got a fat burner, stimulant free at $30. We've got another one that's stimulant free that is stacks with this one for another $30-40. Then they got a recomp supplement. It's a nice complement to that. You can throw that in there so you have the ability to go deeper and deeper and deeper depending on your goal. And that's one of the reasons why I like SNS. And they are thoroughly known for pumping out some quality supplements. They don't go as premium as stacked as like an Infinus or an Apollon, but with that said, they go pretty hard in terms of ingredients and dosages in very specific areas, and their price is insanely good. You grab one of their 6-month bundles, their 12-month bundles with a sale, like their 25% off sale onto a stack that already, like, let's say you buy 6 bottles worth, that's already got, I think they have like, is it 15, 20%? It's a good chunk of discount on these pre-built bundles that they have, and then you toss in that extra discount. It's one of the reasons why I shop there a lot too, just because of the variety and just how cost effective they are in terms of adding things in. But they have announced that in the next 12 weeks, I believe in the next 12 weeks, 3 months, they're launching a completely new supplement every week, I believe it is. And I believe it's starting this week. So the first one is going up, I believe it's tomorrow. I know what it is, I won't say anything, but we're revealing it, then I think they're launching it, then the next week is another one, and I'm doing 12 weeks straight. And as far as I know, I'm not sure, there probably are some reformulations in there. I don't actually know, and there might be some standalone stuff or some basic stuff. When I saw the list, majority of them were complex supplements, and if you're a fan of their muscle building lineup, like Anabolic XT, Phosphoric Acid XT, and even their weight loss stuff, you're going to want to keep an eye out for this. They got some good shit coming in where you'll kind of, like I said, they give you the ability to spend more, to get more for your purpose, and this 12 is going to really open that up. Now, all we had posted about is that 12 weeks, 12 supplements, so keep an eye out for it. We'll be slamming it left and right, so as soon as we get the go-ahead for each item each week, we'll put it out there. And I believe some of the big ones will have teasers as well, so they'll be like, this is what the supplement is, we'll wait to show you what's in it, and then blah, blah, blah. So keep an eye out for that, especially if you're an SNS fan, especially if you like digging deep into your supplements and spending a lot of money, not a lot, but just a good amount of money for specific purposes outside of your protein powders, your pre-workouts, and daily essentials. So yeah, you can check that out a little bit more in detail on the site. Next up, we're going to jump over to Apollon Nutrition, who closed out the year. On New Year's Eve, they dropped 2 bombs, and I knew the names, Bloody Hooligan and Bloody Bare Knuckle, which suggested it was going to be like Bloody Hooligan is their Bloody Hell mixed with Hooligan, and then Bloody Bare Knuckle presumably was going to be the same with, like, where Bloody Hell mixes with Bare Knuckle. Now, I'm quite surprised, and I know Robic, and I still didn't even hear about this that much. I kind of did, but I didn't really see the formula until it was to be shared. So what they are actually is Bloody Hooligan is indeed Bloody Hell's main ingredients, 3 of the 4, I think it is, infused with Hooligan, with a few tweaks and differences. It is a stack son of a bitch. You get 10 grams of citrulline, double dose of beta-alanine at 6.4, 5 grams of creatine, another 5 of betaine, and nitrosamine is in there at a full 1.5, a huge 4-figure 1 gram dose of alpha GPC, typically sitting around the 600 milligram mark. You've got far more nootropic ingredients also in there. Cognitique, once again, at 100 milligrams. Vasadrive AP at 508 for more pumps. 3 grams of tyrosine and a combined half a gram of caffeine. Just a pretty much just a more juicy pump version of Hooligan, which is one of my favorite pre-workouts out there right now. Now, that's what Bloody Hooligan is. You can see the formula on the site. Bloody Bare Knuckle is the same again, minus the theobromine and caffeine. I kind of expected it to be like a more pumpy version of Bare Knuckle. Like, I didn't see them having the exact same formula. I didn't see that coming. And there's actually quite a little trick to that. So they come in the same 2 flavors, blood orange, and there is a second one. I only just learned about it today. But they come in the same 2 flavors. And the reason for that is so that you can adjust the stimulants to your preference. So let's just say you wanted 250 milligrams of caffeine, right? You would just have half a serving of the Bloody Hooligan and then half of the Bloody Bare Knuckle. And you would get exactly the same dosages, just the difference would be less of the stims. So it's a very cool, versatile way to adjust. And it might not even be just your own preference, it might be time of day. You might be gymming in the morning half of the week, and then right before you go to bed, the other half of the week. And so you might want to adjust. This kind of gives you that ability where you can scale the 2. So yeah, like I said, half of one, half of the other gives you 250. Everything is the same. A quarter of one and 3/4 of the other. That'll juice you up to 125 milligrams of caffeine. So you have this ability to adjust to your preference, basically. And that was one of the main features of the 2 being so similar. So yeah, you can read more about it on the site. Just type in Bloody Hooligan or Bloody Bare Knuckle, because they have had a Bloody Hooligan before. But it's a very cool, versatile way that they've done this thing. And it's a little more to it than, again, I thought we were getting 2 completely different supplements. Bloody Bare Knuckle and Bloody Hooligan just kind of made me think we were going to get like a juiced up Hooligan and a pumped up Bare Knuckle, but same formula, so not as exciting as 2 separate ones, but then you get this sweet little kind of efficiency thing where you can combine them, which is generally not the case, and you can adjust them. So it's very cool to see that. They are limited, so they're not around for long, but you can check them out on the site as per usual. The last couple stories, we'll go over to Pump Shot from 5% Nutrition. This was an interesting one, very similar to what we just saw from Pump Source, where they've done the Pump Source shot, where they basically take a serving of Pump Source, put it into a shot bottle. 5% Nutrition has done very much the same with Pump Shot. I don't believe they have do they have a full, they probably do have a liquid glycerol. Can't actually remember. But Pump Shot is basically a full serving of liquid glycerol, 20 grams. And then you've got a pinch of the S7, the superfood blend at 50 milligrams. So you get 20 grams of glycerol, 50 milligrams of S7, thrown into a shot, put in your pocket, you're good to go. So exactly the same premise as the Pump Source shot, although that is a replicated version of their liquid pump, a liquid glycerol. And then here you've got sort of a standalone shot to be taken. And it's the pump category, at least glycerol-based supplements have become immensely popular. They're just a nice commodity to attach to to add extra hydration and pumps. So it's really cool to continue to see it evolve from what we were getting with bulk supplements and then more complex ones with nitrates in the mix. Now we've got some shots where they kind of just, yeah, nice and convenient, pick it up and go, throw it in your bag, have it on hand type thing. And that's 5% Nutrition. So you can check that out. I believe they sell it at $2.49 a piece on their website. So you can buy it individually, or you go ahead and grab a box of 12 at $29.99, which is indeed exactly the same as the individual price. The next story we've got, I'm going to close out with 2. We'll actually close out with the Arnold stuff last. We'll jump into 3D Energy, who has been all over the news lately, obviously with a lot of things to share and say, so it makes sense as to why they're making headlines. I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but if you haven't seen it, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, Christian Guzman, the original founder of 3D Energy, came out with a video basically going over his whole partnership and how it played out with the original guys from Congo, Congo being the owner of AmiNO and Prime. So he had those guys on board originally with 3D Energy, all back in the beginning, and they kind of handle distribution and stuff, and things kind of communication seemed to have broken down, and that led to alternative distribution, or just a difference in distribution. I wouldn't know how you say it, but if you are a fan of 3D Energy, you will remember it used to be at GNC. It used to be like one of the stars at GNC. It was one of the few places you could go and grab it from the cooler straight. It was extremely accessible. Then all of a sudden, it was not. It kind of just, not kind of, it disappeared straight up, was no longer there. So yeah, he put out a video kind of going over all of that and how it's now, he's partnered with the team over at Raw, so Dom, Chris Bumstead, what's the other guy, Matt? I can't remember their name. A bunch of guys from over there, and they are now kind of, that's the partner in 3D Energy, and they're making for a huge push as we go into 2025. They're relaunching it in a 12-ounce version, and we shared so this was a preview that one of the sales guys had put up. It wasn't overly clear, but we got it out there just to give everyone a look. It is a very similar look and feel to the original 3D Energy. The 3D logo is a little bit bigger, but it is a part of the transformation that 3D Energy is about to go through. So they are switching to a 12-ounce can. No more artificial colors, I believe, is what they said. And there was a bunch of flavors they're testing. So the revamp that they're going through is about to happen, I believe, in the coming weeks. There isn't like an official date, but it sounds like the big rollout of this new 12-ounce version, new look, new flavors, is going to be coming shortly. We put out the picture of the look. We've shared a whole bunch of things in this time. So if you've been following along, this is really just a roundup of everything that's happening with them. They've got a lot going on. And the flavor things are quite interesting. And they put out that, just for fun, they said that their Mountain Dew-like citrus dew, Galaxy Lime, which was the really cool gradient green and blue one, and then the Liberty Pop, those three, they just basically named them and said one's going to be discontinued, one's going to be improved, and then one's going to stay the same. And so you got a bit of an indication as to what we're about to get. Like, clearly not all of the originals are coming over. Clearly not all of the originals are going to be originals. They're going to be revamped. I suspect these aren't the only ones that will be treated like this. There will be probably others that are going to be discontinued, revamped, kept the same. I'm kind of hoping the Mountain Dew one, the citrus juice, stays the same. That thing is just killer. I really wasn't on board with Liberty Pop and the Galaxy Lime. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, I think it's the Liberty Pop is the one that's been improved, and then the Galaxy Lime being discontinued, and then maybe the citrus juice staying the same. Either way, a lot going on, like I said, and you can follow along on the website and check it all out. You can get a closer look at the new branding and even some of the flavors that they have had in testing, which I believe are going to be a part of this huge relaunch. So you're in for a new look. Same key ingredients, I believe, same quality flavoring. It is one of my favorite energy drinks on the market. So I'm really hoping they keep that. Even if they improve some and introduce some new flavors, they just keep that killer sweetness and just vibe that they have in each of those flavors that are all damn good. But the last story we're going to finish off with is news on the Arnold. If you are going to the Arnold Sports Festival, or you're even just considering it, make sure you do so. Make sure you're organized, make sure you're ready to go, because we've been flat out pumping this thing, getting it ready over the last several months. The Stack Pavilion, we did have a few dropouts, so we have got some spaces open. So if there's anybody who's interested, we have already put it, we had a few people not on the back burner, but they were interested that we couldn't accept originally, so we've reached out to them. But if you are interested in that kind of thing, let me know. But expect the next 8 weeks to be jam-packed full of Arnold stuff, Arnold announcements with exhibitors and whatnot. We put out a post today about the executive pass. This is the pass that we created with the Arnold for business-minded or business personnel, industry individuals, for the likes of distributors, buyers, retailers, manufacturers, ingredient companies. Basically, you submit your details, we confirm, we will then pass on the information to the Arnold. Then on the day, you go to the badge pickup, show some ID, you get your badge, and it lets you get into the show an hour early. And the main reason behind this is just to get in before the rush, to get in so that you can talk to brands, talk to exhibitors. Maybe it's something as simple as like, hey, I really like the brand, I want to talk to someone about it and bring it into my store. Maybe it's a manufacturer who's like, hey, we do this or this, and we thought it'd be like, whatever it may be. With less people, that's a little bit easier. And sometimes with these smaller brands, they don't have a fully fledged team to have someone step away from the booth. And that's probably the case with a lot of them as well. So this was really designed to kind of help create a very B2B type thing. Instead of having like a B2B day like a few other shows around the world, this was meant to be that kind of thing where you could get in early. And it's a nice way to identify yourself. Like the pass has your name, says executive pass, it's got the company, and exhibitors and brands can identify you that way and sort of say, okay, look, this isn't like this isn't just a regular consumer. So it's a good way to identify. And yeah, we had it successful last year. We had over 100 people on it, and we're going to be pretty much pushing it again this year. I believe we've got a much bigger limit. So much so I don't think we actually mentioned the limit on the site. All you got to do is reach out to me or Stacked on social, LinkedIn, whatever it may be. Send in your details or use our stack.com/Arnold. That's a contact page. Throw in your details there, and we'll just we can't give it to absolutely everyone. We don't want people wearing the executive badge and then rolling around and they just being randoms and brands thinking they're of a certain type and that turns out they're just people. So yeah, it is business to business exclusive, you can say. So don't be offended if you turn down, not that we really turned down many people, but we did get a few requests from just really not fitting people. So yeah, that does it for this episode. Thank you for listening. As always, make sure you share the website with your mom, dad, brother, sister, niece, nephew, grandson maybe, granddaughter, I don't know. Just that's all we ask for, is that you spread the word on the website. It continues to grow and it continues to explode and get popular. Make sure you visit it every day, when you're taking a shit, when you're at the gym, when you're in the car, whenever it may be. Make sure you're checking it out, staying informed, and we look forward to having you back next time.